Hello, everybody. How are you? How are you? Where is my chat? It's not working. Oh, dang. Hang on. It'll catch up in a minute. There we go. I got it. No big racket. So I have a couple of my honey badger ladies here with me tonight. Awesome, awesome. Mickey, how are you doing?
I am fine. How's everybody else doing tonight?
Doing
Great,
fabulous,
great.
fabulous, fabulous. And Mom Slayer is in the house.
Hey, everybody.
Oh my goodness. We have got 9 people in the chat. Let me see if my participants list is going to work. Probably not. Miss 3D Tripper, oh my goodness. I am so glad you're here. I tried to call you a while ago, and I'll tell you about that in just a second. C. Dean, how are you? Eliza to go, how are you doing? Hey, Jay, Jimmy Rants, Oxjaw, how are you? My honey Prepper X, how are you? Let's see. Diggers Outdoors, Christy Betts, how are you? I think that's everybody. Awesome, awesome. And the crowd goes wild. Oh, hey, Miss Pat Skelton. So, 3D, I tried to call you just a minute ago. Mom Slayer said and I've been trying to get 3D into the live stream so she can be my guest. We had technical difficulties and I could not figure out what was going on. So we're going to try again later after the live stream to see if we can get her in a Google Hangout. But Mom Slayer said if you copy the link that I send you for the live stream and then you post that in Google Chrome, that it may work that way. So that might be an option. I'm super excited to have her in the live stream with us. Hey, Lady B, how are you? Frank Burns, how are you doing? So, we don't have a scheduled topic because my brain is like totally fried. But I have been in between the studying and the work. I've been trying to work on my garden. Now, Mom Slayer, you're doing the hugelkultur, is that right?
I'm doing both, but I have 3 sides up on hugelkultur, and like my brother was here today and was like, "What is that?" So so I had to
Don't worry
explain it to
about it.
him.
It's just a
Yeah,
girl thing.
that's what I said. Don't worry about it.
Tell him like I tell my brother, it's Nunya. It's Nunya. Miss Mickey is doing container gardening, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Awesome, awesome. With your trellis, that is fantastic.
Oh yes,
Thank you.
yes. I saw that second video.
Did you?
Very cool. Yes.
They turned out a lot better than I thought they would.
They
It
look
did.
so professional and neat. Oh my goodness.
Thank you. It was just something super simple.
Yeah. Well, I guess it depends on how organized you are. And these days and times, I'm not very organized. So I would have like 45-degree corners and stuff. Yeah, it wouldn't be pretty.
Woohoo!
That's why we didn't do the mitered corners. We just butted them up and did it that way.
Yeah.
Simple and easy.
Yeah, my corners wouldn't be straight. Nope. So you're using the trellis, and what are you growing on the trellis?
We're gonna do 3. One is going to be for the squash, and then one for pole beans, and one for cucumbers, because we want to do pickles again this year.
Awesome. So you're way up north. So is your growing season started up there yet?
Nope.
No. Holy cow!
Not yet.
That's so crazy.
I know. I'm itching.
Yeah.
I was out yesterday. Yesterday it got to like almost 70, so I was out getting my pots ready and putting dirt in them and thinking, geez, I could put this one here and this one here. And
Oh
I was
wow.
getting ready. I was like, oh man, I want to plant. I want to plant.
Yeah. Hey, Southern Ohio, how are you? So, Mom Slayer, you're doing the hugel culture and regular gardening. Do you know what you're going to plant in your hugel culture yet?
I have the startings of potatoes and beans and celery and onions and garlic right now. They're ready to go in.
Oh
Um,
wow.
Cool.
so, but we're doing a in-ground garden too.
Yeah.
So, in fact, Royal's boyfriend took my place for my garden. I said, just do it. Do what you want. These are mine. Don't touch them.
Yeah.
So,
That's awesome. So when you do, and I haven't done hugel culture. I've been watching 3D's videos on the hugel culture. So when you do your hugel culture, are you going to have support for the plants, or is it going to be not supported?
I built a very primitive trellis, nothing like Mickey's. But that's me. I prefer, you know, weaving sticks together because that's just who I am.
Yeah.
So I don't know how strong it's going to be. It's trimmings from last fall. They're not exactly green, but they're not dead either.
Right.
So
Okay. Well, I have in my garden space, I have one huge raised bed that I was able to, believe it or not, get it filled. All right. It's 4 feet wide by 24 feet long. So it's a long bed, and I was able to get it filled. Now I have to figure out and decide how I'm going to put some sort of trellis in there for my tomatoes, because the tomatoes get so heavy that the little round wire tomato cages that you put around them, when they grow, they pick the tomato cage up out of the ground
hmm.
as they grow up. The branches will go out and they'll just lift it up out of the ground, and then they'll end up falling over. I had two last year that they grew up and picked the trellis up, picked the little tomato cage, not trellis, but the tomato cage up out of the ground. When they fell over, they broke. So, so last year I had the cattle panel up, and that did really well for the tomatoes. They got really tall, and I was able to tie them up to the trellis as they grew. So now I have to figure out how to do some kind of support for the tomatoes in a raised bed. So does that mean that it's going to be higher and just, you know,
Are they determinate or indeterminate?
I wish I knew. I can't remember right offhand. Um, they get, they get really tall. I can't remember, to be honest with you. But so I'm thinking that I'm going to stand the cattle panel up in the center of the bed and brace it up so I can put the tomatoes, attach the tomatoes to the cattle panel, and then let the cucumbers run up the cattle panel. And I've got several, so I can go all the way down that bed. That's what I'm thinking that I'm going to do. And Josh was like, I need to stop thinking of projects. Yeah. Stop.
You would be happy if you were calm and in control.
Yeah.
But you can order those like onion bags, like the netting kind of thing,
Mhm.
or you can also buy the scrubbers, the body scrubber, the nets,
Yeah.
and that's just held together with a zip tie. You cut that, and then you got instant netting for $1.
Awesome.
You tie it in a knot and then put it wherever you want to, and it stretches. Now it
Oh,
tears. It does tear if you're pulling on it, but if you're
yeah.
gentle with it,
Yeah. C. Dean said you can top off the tomatoes, which causes them to branch out. Yes, that is what I did last year, and it really worked well. I want them to be as tall as the top of the cattle panel. So it's going to be raised up because it's going to be on top of the raised bed. But we'll see how it goes. But I'm so ready to get it finished because I am so far behind. It is ridiculous. And like I was telling Miss Mickey earlier, it's like 85 degrees here. So yeah. Yeah. So I have a tendency to get overheated. I know that's a surprise for y'all, but so I have to be careful and not get too hot, which is hard for me because once I get started on something, I hate to stop.
Right.
Anyway. Oh,
no, I was going to suggest that about the canal panels because we're thinking about doing that this year for our tomatoes too. Because like you said, they get tall, they get weighted down. My husband actually took 2x4s and built a frame up for them to grow onto and tied them to that so they weren't falling over all the time.
yeah.
So we're going to go down and get a cattle panel and do that this year.
Yeah. Awesome. 3D mentioned fire ants. Now, I'm going to tell y'all something that I saw, and I'm going to try it this year because here in the South, the fire ants are ridiculous. All right. So I have a spot. It's right on, I fence in my garden area because of the deer. They love to eat all my vegetables. I'm just saying. And they do it in the middle of the night when I'm zonked out and I'm not out there aiming at them. So I fenced it in, 150 clips for $8 on Amazon. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am, Miss C. Dean. So the fire ant bed, there is a fire ant bed on the outside of my garden at the bottom of the fence. And I saw something on YouTube how to get rid of a fire ant bed that's in your garden because you don't want to use chemicals and you don't want to get in them because they are painful. Oxjaw said he was asking if fire ants were big or small. I found a few large mounds while mowing. Fire ants to me are big. They're like ginormous, pterodactyl size.
Pterodactyl?
Yeah.
Diggers, we don't have fire ants in Pennsylvania. We do have red ants and they bite, but they're not as, oh my God, not as vicious and mean as fire ants.
Yeah.
I have scars from fire ants.
Yeah, I can imagine. Oh my God. So the video that I saw, and I cannot remember who put it out, it's something that came up on my feed. The guy had a pile of fire ants in his raised bed. Now I know this one isn't in my bed, but it's in my garden. So he went to another fire ant pile in the yard somewhere, got a shovel, scooped up a scoop of those ants from that other fire ant mound, brought them and dumped them on top of the one that was in the raised bed. Now, I saw this in the video, and if I could find it, I'll post a link. The ants from the one that he scooped go to war with the one that's in the fire in the bed. They start fighting each other, and they end up running each other off. So it'll take about a week, but they will go away. So I'm going to try that this year and see if it works because the fire ants are so bad here. And if it does, I'm going to be freaking excited because I don't like bringing poison into the garden to kill the to kill the fire ants and around the vegetables, but I don't want the fire ants in there either because they will make you hurt yourself. So I'm going to try it and see. Ant warfare. That's what it is, Jay. Exactly.
Better Together Homestead did essential oils. Now that they sell essential oils to supplement their income, and I think it was orange and spearmint. I don't know. They put a video out. It killed 2 fire ant nests overnight.
Awesome.
Like he was digging them out with his hands.
Yeah.
So
Really?
check them out. Better Together Homestead.
Awesome. Yes, indeed. Anything that will help tackle the fire ant problem is a welcome reprieve because they are ridiculous down here in the South. These are not red ants. These are fire ants. So they're, in my opinion, they're bigger. Boiling hot soapy water works too. That's true. Yep. Dawn dish soap. But they are very, very painful. So I'm going to, with the freeze dryer, I don't know. Do y'all grow watermelons and cantaloupes where y'all are?
Mm-hmm.
Mickey Farms?
Yeah, we have.
Do you grow those on the ground or do you grow them on a trellis?
I do mine on a trellis.
Really?
We did ours on the ground.
Uh-huh.
Okay, awesome.
But they were in pantyhose though. I'd get the pantyhose and cut them up.
Yes, Miss Pat, that's right. She said she's going to try that. Each mound has its own queen that they are fighting for. Yep. Absolutely. So when you put those strange ants from out in the yard on top of the ones in the bed, they start fighting each other because they're both different mounds. So they end up doing each other in. Yep. So I'm going to try it and see if it works. Heck yes. So you did hose with your watermelon and your cantaloupes, moms?
Yes, and I've done honeydew too.
Okay.
Yeah.
Honeydew.
Honeydew too.
Uh-huh. Absolutely. I want to grow. Now, I've grown them before, not here where I am, and they did fabulous. I've not done watermelon here, but because of the freeze dryer and how well watermelon does in the freeze dryer, I want more of it, but I don't want to go buy them. I want to grow them, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I want to try to grow watermelon for the first time this year and see how it works. I just couldn't decide if I wanted to do them on a trellis or if I wanted to do them on the ground. Now, when you did yours, Mickey, you did them on the ground, right?
Right. Yeah.
And they did.
And we had
good?
no problem. Oh, they did awesome, and they were so sweet.
Wow. Okay. Pretty cool. I'm excited about that.
I know. Yeah, I know some people have after they start producing the fruit itself, some people will put straw down for them to lay on so they're not laying right on the ground and get the moisture and the bugs on them. But I don't think we did that, and they were great. We had some about yay big.
Okay. Well, the way that the prices are going right now, even for watermelon, supposed to be coming into season, the prices in the grocery store, I have noticed that they're going up tremendously and really quickly for things that you buy, vegetables that are supposed to be less expensive if they're in season. Well, it's not turning out to be that way this year. So that is another reason why I want to grow everything that I can. And I eat a lot of watermelon. So, if I can grow it and not have to purchase it from the grocery store, I think that would be a good thing to learn. That is, that's what I'm going for. I'm trying to accomplish and see if I can get these things to grow that I've never grown before. Um, Squash and zucchini, I love them. Have y'all had good luck with that?
Too much good luck.
Really?
Yeah. In fact, I saw a recipe for the battered flour, the blooms on the zucchini, and it's out. I love things that are fried, obviously. So it was
Right.
very good. Yeah, very light and good. That's how many.
My grandma,
Go ahead.
my grandma used to do those all the time. We'd have to go out and pick them. Um, yeah, we had plenty of luck with squash last year. I still got squash.
Yep.
My
So,
butternut squash, but my acorn squash didn't grow.
oh dang.
And I was upset because I wanted acorn squash.
Hmm. So, do you have a particular kind that you like to grow better? Is it the yellow crooked neck? Is it yellow straight neck? What's your favorite squash?
Who?
Either one of you?
My favorite out of all of them is the zucchini, but I do the spaghetti one and the butternut one. I've never done acorn, but I also I like the yellow ones, the yellow squash.
Yeah.
But I like it all. Yeah, but
Yeah.
I have never tried growing the acorn squash.
My parents used to do it and have good luck with it all the time. I don't know if well, I think where they were sitting, they were getting too much rain off of the gutters, so that might have drowned them. But I love acorn squash.
Oh my goodness, Jay, you are not right. He said use a sports bra for healthy melons. Oh my God.
Mm.
That boy.
I know, right? Oh, holy cow. Yep. Well, my favorite is the yellow straight neck squash. The reason why is because fried squash is absolutely fantastic, of course. But when you use the crooked neck squash, you end up with these little bitty pieces like this big around because it starts out with the bulb and then goes to the neck that curls. The straight squash is all pretty even, so it makes prettier slices. So, and I'm thinking that when I do the freeze dryer, that they would be better with the straight neck squash as opposed to the crooked neck. Um, yeah, Mickey, that's right.
Well, that makes sense because that way you could fit more of them on the pan, and you know that they're about the same size that they're going to dry easy or freeze easier.
Yeah.
Now, when you fix those, Nina, how do you fix them?
There's different ways that I make them. With the yellow squash, I will fry them, that slice them, batter them in either flour, maybe a little meal mixed in there, and deep fry them, or I will saute them with butter and onion and saute them till they're tender or whatever. Either way, they are fantastic. I love it. Um, the zucchini I like the same way, but I'll also use the zucchini to make zucchini bread with, which is good.
Mm.
Mm,
I was looking for recipes for zucchini last year. Just I had so many of them. I give them up. People would see me coming with zucchini and literally close the door.
really?
That's how many I had.
You have the wrong neighbors. Golly.
Yes.
Yeah,
Well, they grow too.
yeah. It's kind of it's kind of like around here with the eggs. You can't give them away because everybody has chickens. So everybody has eggs. And when they see you coming with eggs, they're like, no, we don't want any. Thank you. We have plenty. So that's okay. You know, squash casserole with crumble topping. Yes, ma'am, Miss C. Dean.
Oh, I agree
Yep.
with 3D. Butternut squash is like sweet potatoes.
Yep. I have not been able to grow butternut squash. I don't know if my soil is wrong or it's too hot here. It can't be too hot. If she grows butternut squash, we're on the same level. So it's got
Yeah.
to be something I'm doing wrong why I can't get butternut squash to grow. So I may try that again and see how it turns out. But I have not been successful with butternut squash. And I
Do you
like
keep do you keep a journal, a garden journal at all?
I have not done that. And the other night you were talking, was it you or somebody else was talking about the journaling? And I want to start that this year to see if that will help me figure out what I'm doing wrong and what I need to do differently.
Yeah, I can't remember from year to year, placement. And it doesn't matter. I'm just starting new here, so it doesn't matter what it is this year. But, I cannot remember from year to year what I did, how I fertilized, where it was in the garden.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why I keep a journal.
Yeah. Frank Burns said I may be starting it too early. I hadn't thought about that because,
Hey, it could be.
it's so hot here. That could have been what happened, that I started it too early. I mean, it's hard to imagine with it being so freaking hot here that it would be too early to grow anything in the garden, with all the snow that we get.
Well, isn't yellow squash a winter, a cold crop?
It's supposed to be kind of, sort of a cooler weather crop, but I've been able to grow successfully yellow squash here all the time. So 3D says not. Hers is 3 inches high right now. Holy macaroni. So you're telling me that I'm going to have to do one of those hugelkultur bed things to get my butternut squash to grow. Is that what you're saying?
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Yep.
With your
And
watermelon,
yeah.
have an idea was if you don't know which one to get, or do you know which one you're going to try and plant?
I haven't decided yet what kind.
Well,
So whatever you got, let me hear it.
Well, I was going to say you could go to your farmer's market or people that grow it already and see what they grow and what they have luck with. Because one variety might go great.
By the time the farmers markets start, it's too late to throw something in.
Right. But I mean,
wait,
she knows...
maybe not for her because you have 2 planting seasons, don't you?
Yep.
Yeah.
Sure do.
We don't.
No, we get one, maybe.
Yeah, we're lucky to get that one.
Yeah. Well, at the beginning of the season, the first thing that we see, I'm gonna tell you a story about the farmers market here in this town. I'm not saying that all farmers markets are that way, but this one is. In the summertime, you can see parked on the side of the road these people that have these huge mounds of watermelons in the back of their truck, and they'll be sitting on the side of the road. That would be someone that I would not have a problem asking to get a watermelon, even buying it and saying, oh, what kind of watermelon is this? To find out what kind is the best for this area. As opposed to our lovely farmers market. All right. So I was going to be a member of the farmers market here, and you have to jump through 9 freaking hoops to even become a member of the farmers market. But they had these people that had watermelon at the farmers market. Come to find out, it's supposed to be regulation with the farmers market that if you sell at this farmers market, you grow locally. All right. But these people that had these watermelon, they would go 2 states over to get the watermelon and bring them back here to sell. So it's not really good information to ask, what kind of watermelon this is if it's not even from this area, in my opinion.
I agree.
So if I wanted to find out exactly what kind they're growing here, I would stop at one of the people that I see on the side of the road with the watermelons in the back of the truck, the individual, as opposed to the farmer, because I haven't had real good success with the farmers market. I had my honey that I was going to sell at the farmers market. Well, there was another person that brought their honey to sell at the farmers market. So I wasn't allowed to bring my honey to sell at the farmers market because it would be too much competition for the other person. So that's yes. So that's when I decided that the farmers market wasn't really something that I was interested in pursuing. So I didn't.
I don't blame you.
Yep. Absolutely. Uh-oh, Oxjaw. Oh, okay. He had some trouble on one of his videos. Dadgummit. Yep. So I'm hoping that, the watermelon and the cantaloupe is going to be new for me this year. So I'm pretty nervous about doing that and not having ever done it before.
It's like weeds.
Really?
Watermelon and cantaloupe are like weeds. They like to be watered. They don't like to be soaked, but they like to be semi-wet, but they grow like weeds.
Yeah. Awesome.
Our squash plant died in the big pot that I had it in. The runners took root throughout the garden, and that's what grew.
Wow.
Yeah.
Huh. Dang
It was weird.
I'm excited. I'm excited. And one more thing that's going to be new for me this year is going to be strawberries.
Awesome.
All right. So from what
kind did you get?
I haven't gotten them yet.
Okay, you want ever blooming, because they will bloom all year instead of just once and they're done.
Okay.
And the easiest way to plant strawberries, seriously, is to get milk crates and just feed them in through the holes of the milk crate. And you can stack them as high as you want.
Huh. That's a good idea.
I've never heard of that.
I know, right?
That's Kelly Kim. Yeah, Kelly Kim. And that's how she plants hers. And I was like, oh, that's ingenious.
Yeah. That's a really good idea. Yep. Yes. 3D says she has a hard time with strawberries. Now, do strawberries like acid, like more acidity than normal?
I don't know, and I don't fertilize strawberries. I put them in like a Miracle Grow mix, organic potting soil, and then I add. I am so cheap. I buy diapers.
Cheap is the way to go.
That's
I
being frugal and
find
smart.
I find the cheapest diapers that I can get,
Yep.
and then mix that in with the soil because it's got those water absorbers in there,
Yep.
and I just let them go.
Awesome. Preprex said sandy soil they prefer. There's not any sand within 100 miles of me, so I'm going to have to figure out what to do for the strawberries. Yeah, Dean said she uses pine straw, and that's the reason why I was asking, because I know that supposedly putting mulch over the strawberries helps them stay moister, more moist. Moister is not a word. More moist. Josh can bring some home. Are you
Yeah.
talking about the pine straw or the sand? Yeah, because the pine straw, I overrun with it. Yep. Absolutely. So that's another thing that buy place sand at Lowe's. Yep. That's another thing that I want to try new this year is the strawberries because I love them. I love them,
Mm-hmm.
and they are expensive in the
Too
grocery store.
expensive
Absolutely, absolutely.
for those little itty
No,
bitty containers that you get. Ugh.
Mm-hmm.
just make sure you get the ever blooming.
Yep. Good deal. That's great advice. And the milk crate thing, moms. Oh my God, you rock, lady. Yep.
I would have never thought of that.
Just passing along information.
Yep. So my raspberries, they made it through the winter. These are the ones that I confiscated from Mr. Prepper X. I brought them home. They made it through the winter, so I'm hoping that they continue to do as well as they have done. Um, that is another thing that is very, very expensive in the grocery stores that I've seen. And all of these things that you normally get are higher in price this year.
This is going to be a
Um,
bad year. This
yeah,
this this is a make it or break it kind of year, I think.
yeah, absolutely. The strawberries stored right next to the ice cream? Absolutely. Yep, absolutely. I think that it's going to be um, more um, prevalent and a bigger urgency that you stock up on your food and you figure out how to grow these things because I'm already seeing prices in the grocery store going up significantly higher than they were last year and year before last.
Mm.
Um,
Yeah, because with all the flooding wiping through the Midwest, and that's the breadbasket, and other areas also, that makes total sense.
yep.
Because I know parts of Iowa are reflooding,
Oh
like
my goodness, that.
up around Rock Island, northern Illinois, where one main road crosses into Iowa. They've got part of that shut down because it's reflooding. And I'm not sure if that's all city or not. But think about with the flooding in Iowa, Nebraska, and wherever, all that dirt that's been washed away, all the land that's going to have to be retilled, refertilized, re-sweetened, all of that.
It's going to be a dust bowl again.
Yes.
Yeah, I think it's gonna get worse before it gets any better. I think that I feel the urgency personally to learn as much as I can as fast as I can. You know, and some of you out there know I have a problem with patience, so I need to know,
Patience, what's that?
right? I
They're in
need
the hospital.
to know about it.
They're them people laying in a bed in the hospital.
No.
Yeah. Mm. But I feel an urgency personally to learn it as fast as I can and make sure that I can do it. And I think everybody out there, you would be well advised to do the same thing. If you can, do something, even if it's on a small scale. Um, yes, Jay, I know it's a shocker, but yes, I have no patience whatsoever. Um, but if you can learn something to help take care of yourself, even if it's on a small scale, I think it's very important for you to do. Um, I know that I wish Piglet was here. I know that she's started the canning process. Um, and I have got so many things to catch up with Mom Slayer. What's the latest that you've been canning, my friend? Because you are a canning fiend.
Nothing, not right now. I am on an extremely tight budget, so now it kind of switches unless I get a really good deal on something. And like you, even the sales ads are going up.
Yeah.
So
Mm-hmm.
I went downstairs. I could smell something in my pantry. It's downstairs in the basement, and I could smell something, and I went searching for it, and those beautiful meatballs that I was so proud of.
Oh
Oh
no.
no.
Almost every single lid has lifted.
Oh
So
no.
yesterday I went in search of Tatler lids.
Yeah.
Now they scare me. I don't know a whole lot about them. I and that's why they scare me, is because of that unknown and just the different changes that you in the process.
Yeah.
So I got 2 packages of those, and I need to hook up with my Canon
Good.
uppities
Yeah.
and just talk to them and see, how to use them, because Kerr and Ball got bought out by Jarden, and they changed the formulas for the lids.
Mm-hmm.
And I have had so many fails this season that it's just too expensive to keep having fail after fail after fail.
Right.
And you can reuse the Tatler lids.
Yes.
Over, like, I think the average is like 120 usage to one ring.
Yeah.
So, and they run about $10. So,
Wow. Okay. I saw whenever Mouse Toast was with us before, she was telling, and I cannot remember for the life of me, and I wrote it down somewhere, and it's probably over here in this pile of stuff. The name of the lids that she uses that
Orchard Road.
Yes, that's
Mm-hmm.
it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Have you tried those? Because I have not.
I have 2 packages of them, but to order straight from Orchard Rose, they think my credit card is stolen
Oh no.
because it has my Texas zip code. And they
Yes.
will not accept the Pennsylvania zip code. I've been in contact with we're just going round and round, and it's just not that important to me anymore.
Right. Okay.
I've called them, I've called the bank. It's just, I don't know how to change it, and they won't accept my credit card.
Oh wow.
And my credit card is my bank card,
Gotcha. Yeah. Well, as I change over, because I'm gonna tell you that makes me afraid. The failures that I hear with the lids, the canning lids, that makes me afraid, and I would prefer not to, not to have that looking at me, because it's such a serious thing. So I've been trying to go through the lids that I have and change over, because it's a big expense, to start off with. I have some Tatler lids as well, Mom Slayer. They scare me too. And it's only, like you said, because it's an unknown, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But
See, I don't even know if you leave the ring on. I know you tighten them as soon as they come out of the canner, but I don't know, how long do they leave the ring on for?
yeah.
Yeah, I
wish
don't know
could
that
answer
much about them.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it seems like everybody's in that they just don't know enough about them to recommend them.
Right. Yeah. I think it's going to be a learning curve. But going through the process of learning it, I think it'll be a good thing. Because when you have a crop, whatever it may be, whether it's squash, zucchini, you know, pole beans or whatever, to be able to preserve that and not have it go to waste is going to become more and more important as time goes on. Um, because, like I said, I'm already seeing the effects in the grocery store on just simple things that are supposed to be less expensive or getting less expensive. They're not getting less expensive, they're getting more expensive.
Hmm. Well, it's biblical, like a day's wages goes to a loaf of bread.
Yeah,
You know, we're headed in that direction very quickly,
yeah.
very, very
Yeah.
quickly.
Yeah, and Miss Pat mentioned something that I had forgotten about. Here where I am, it is so freaking hot in the summer. Last year, my garden burnt up. I'm not gonna even beat any beat around the bush about it. It burnt slap up. So a shade cloth is going to be important for those of us down here to be able to keep the hottest part of the year or the hottest part of the summer off of the vegetables. It's gonna be important to have the shade cloth, incorporate that into your garden somehow or another over this growing season. Um, and I had forgotten about that, and I'm glad she mentioned it. Um, y'all probably don't have that problem up there as bad as we do down here, right? In the summertime.
Well, it
Right.
gets to be in the hundreds. I mean, not too often, but we hit a couple days.
Yeah.
I don't.
Yeah, because where we have our garden planted, it gets shade from our patio in our house. So we don't have to worry too much about that.
Yeah. Well, I have to have mine away from everything up here by the house because of all the freaking pine trees. Can I tell you how good of a plant, weed, grass, vegetable control pine straw is? It will take it out. Can I tell you? So I had to move my garden out away from the house to get out from under anything to do with the pine trees. Um, so it's out in the open. So the sun in the summertime plays havoc with the garden. Um, 3D said the shelves are getting empty too. Yes, ma'am. I have seen that as well myself. So it's going to be very important, y'all, to, take the initiative and figure it out, um, and see what you can learn and what you can accomplish. Yep. Yep. C. Dean said the humidity is high down here. It's ridiculous. It is crazy. Yep. Yeah, a roll of shade cloth, Gibson girl said. Absolutely. So
And if you're just building your gardens, right?
I've had them. I've had it where it is. This will be my second year to have it where it's at.
If you put in like a self-watering system, that will help them too.
Yeah.
It won't stop the burn, but at least they'll be, watered.
Yeah. Yeah. I have a faucet out at the garden that I found that I got by finding the water line with the tiller. That was fun. Yeah.
Oh, darn it.
Call before you dig or
Yeah.
kill.
That's how I found it with the tiller. Yep. So I had a a gushing mistake
Fountain.
garden. Yep. So whenever Josh came home and he was out there working trying to fix it, he said, "Why don't I just put a faucet out here by the garden?" I was like, "Hey, that's a good
Smart
idea."
boy.
Yep. Yep. A man-made geyser. That's right, diggers. Absolutely. I zeroed right in on that water line. Yep. It was the funniest daggum thing. Oh my God. I was like, oops, my bad.
Wet t-shirt contest.
I know, right?
Hey.
And then playing in the mud. Yes, that was fun. Absolutely.
I like playing in the mud.
Don't go with
My
mud
dad
wrestling.
used to say he knew how much fun I had by the amount of mud on my teeth.
Exactly. Yep. Mud wrestling and wet t-shirt contests all out in the backyard. Absolutely. Yep. So I have the faucet out there, and I have one of those. I'm telling you, this sprinkler that I have, I paid big dollars for that. It comes straight from the dollar store, and I think it was on sale for like $1.50.
Hey,
So
as long as it works and does what you need
yeah,
it to do.
yep. And I can put it out there and in the middle of the garden and turn that faucet on and just let it run for a few minutes. Um, if you don't forget about it and leave it on for 2 days, yes,
And
yes,
everything drowned. Oh boy.
yes.
Done that. Done
Yeah,
that. Have a little pond.
exactly. Yep.
Yep.
I'm telling you, there has been times where I have been so going in 1,000 different directions um, that I would forget my head if it wasn't attached. I walk out and leave the oven on, but hopefully that will soon be over with once I get through with all this testing. Um, let's see. 3D says, "How are the bees doing?" Well, the bees are still here. I lost two of my the top bar hive that I built when I put them. I did the transfer from the Langstroth hive into the top bar. Um, they did not make it through the winter.
Oh,
It must have been that blizzard that y'all had.
It was.
yeah.
It was.
Those
It was the
15
blizzard.
snowflakes.
Yes, it
Hmm.
was the blizzard. Yes, it was. But one of the nukes that I have, one of the swarms that I got from a water meter did make it over the winter. So I'm not transferring those bees out of the nuke into a top bar or into a Langstroth. Yes, they were buried in. Oh, he's such a smarty pants. Anyway, um, I'm not going to transfer them out of the nuke and put them in a Langstroth or in a top bar. They're going to stay in the nuke until they go to their new home, which is in Tennessee. Yes. So they made it through the winter. It was a big swarm of bees that came out of that water meter. They were so freaking heavy that I almost could not pick them up by myself. So they were large. They made it through the winter, whereas the ones in the top bar did not. It's the strangest dang thing I've ever seen. But I still have bees, so it's all good.
Were those the
Yep.
ones that had the little parkas on?
Yes. Yes, and they had wood stacked up, and their fires were all warm and toasty, evidently. Yep. So I'm pretty excited about the ones that did make it through the winter. Now I have a hive that is pretty large that I need to go through this summer. But I'm not going to be able to do it by myself because I cannot pick up the super, the square that the frames are in. It's too heavy for me to pick up. So I'm going to have to get maybe Josh. Hopefully I can corral him out there to get him to help me, because it's going to take both of us to get it apart, to be able to harvest some of that out of there and give those bees enough room. It's going to be pretty interesting if we can get to it. So hopefully that'll work out.
I know I'm making another hugel bed, and I am not using big logs this time. I am not, whatever I can drag out, that's what it's going to be.
Awesome.
I rolled a lot of heavy logs down to in the yard, but there is a line of lilies, not lilies. What are those purple tree things?
Lilacs.
There you go, lilacs. I almost said shumacs, but they stopped right at the edge of them, and I got hemlock planted above them. I don't know how I'm going to get them down.
Oh wow!
So, aside from cutting them up.
Yeah. So what are you going to put on the inside? Are you just going to put leaves and the logs?
We have lost so many trees, and that's what these are. These are just breaks, that trees that look like they are rotting from the inside out. So we have bark galore. We have smaller twigs and branches. We cleared a section going up the hill, and we have all that roughage, if that's what you call it there. I mean, it's all piled up. We just moved it to one side of the clearing. So I have a lot to work with, and leaves. I have two great big oak trees over 200 years old,
Awesome.
marking the corners of the property, and I have a lot of leaves.
Yeah.
So, and I threw cardboard in there to line it up yesterday.
Oh yeah,
Awesome.
that's a good idea. Yeah.
Yeah, but
I
nothing
can't wait
green.
to see what you do.
Nothing green, and they're small. I got to be able to, my belly gets in my way. I got to be able to reach from the front to the back, so they're not going to be that big.
Yeah. Wow, I'm pretty excited to see that. I know that 3D's raised beds that she has, they are gorgeous. So I'm pretty excited to see how it turns out for you, Mom Slayer. Absolutely.
Me too.
I keep going back to 3Ds to see if I missed something.
Yeah.
Okay, did I do this right? Did I do this right? And I used that. What's that knife? Oh, Lucky Boy, to make some of the stakes for it right now. And that both of my neighbors were using chainsaws because we have lost so many trees. So the one beside me had his going, and then like 10 minutes later, the one above me had his going, and here I am with that little bushcraft knife just sawing his It was like they drove past the house and saw me out there with the knife.
Right.
Yeah.
And they didn't stop to offer help. Shame on them.
No, I would have helped them.
Yeah.
That's all right. You had it going on with that knife, I bet. That was probably
I'm playing. Yeah. Yeah, I got it out and showed my brother today. Look! Look what I got.
Absolutely. Yep. That's freaking cool right there. So I'm pretty excited to see how that turns out. Hopefully,
Me too.
I can get out there and finish mine, because around the outside of the fence, I'm putting mulch to keep, every once in a while I have an issue. Grass growing up through my fence irritates the shit out of me. Okay. So I'm putting mulch on the outside of the fence to keep that grass from growing up through the fence. To get, you can weed eat right up to the fence on this side, and you can weed eat right up to the fence on this side. But right through the fence there, that grass irritates me. So I'm putting mulch on the outside of the fence to try to keep it from being able to grow up through the fence. And that's what I've been doing lately to get too hot, is because we've had so much rain, those bags of mulch are like waterlogged. So,
Oh, I bet.
yeah. So they're twice as heavy as they should be. And I do it when Josh is not here. So he gets, I get got on to about that. So I'm trying to behave. It's just really hard.
Mhm. I hear
Yep.
you.
I have that problem all the time too. Usually it's my mouth that gets me in trouble. I think something and it just comes out, and I should never. I always have to think before I say something, because generally it's dirty
Yeah,
or there's a double meaning.
absolutely.
Well, hey, when you're here, you don't need your filter, but anytime else, turn your filter up a little bit.
Yep. Digger said, where are the hives at? Are you talking about my hives, Diggers, or are you talking about somebody else's hives? Because my hives are about 200 feet from my front door. So they're actually guard bees, because when you walk out the door, you walk into their path. They fly from the hives to the pool that's in my chicken coop. They go back and forth to take water back and forth to the hives. So if you go in the middle of them, they may run into you. Yep. It's the funniest thing. Oh, okay. I got you. Got you. Yep. Hives in the trees. That's good. Yep. I have guard bees.
That was strategic too. Not only are they guard bees, but they get beside your door and fan it a little bit, get the air moving.
Yep. Every once in a while, I can be in here working, and one stray bee will come in, because Callie goes in and out all the time. So my door stays open more than it's shut during the day, unless, of course, the FedEx man is coming and I have to shut the door because Callie wants to eat him. But there will be a stray bee come in the front door, and they usually don't, but every once in a while he'll come in and he'll be flying around my computer, and I'm trying to work and he's buzzing. I was like, oh, I sure hate that you went astray and took a left turn at Albuquerque, because now you're going to have to die, So I have to get rid of him because he'll sting me. But other than
spicy sky raisins, we call that, because the dog and he holds them in his mouth, like he likes that vibe, and then he'll spit them out, and then they'll dry off, and oh my God, what was that? And then take off, and he'll go back after it. And I know they got to be biting them. I mean, I don't know, silly dog.
I know, right? Yeah. I was on a meeting today, and Callie was trying to tear up the UPS man. I mean, the FedEx man.
Oh, no.
Like, oh, do you have a dog? It's like, yes, I do. Sorry, my bad. It was funny. Yep. Wow. Oh, my goodness. We have hit the top of the hour, ladies.
When that went fast, for us not having a topic, we kicked it, man.
Oh,
yes,
right?
we did.
One of these days, I'm going to be done with this, and I can actually have a outline and kind of keep it together. But we did good this time for not being prepared.
Yeah, and I didn't say anything too dirty.
I know, right? We did good.
I didn't snort.
Yeah, I'm hoping that sometime we can continue to work with 3D Tripper and have 3D Tripper up here with us, because that lady is a wealth of knowledge on those hugelkultur beds. If you have not checked out her videos, go and check them out. So I worked for, how long was it? An hour and a half today, 3D. trying to get her to figure out how to get her on a live stream. We're going to keep working on that. So hopefully she can join us next week. That will be pretty exciting. Miss Mickey, what do you got planned coming up? Anything? Anything special?
No, maybe try to go out and shoot my gun again this weekend. See if I can.
Oh, I love it! I love it.
Bring the targets a little bit closer than half a mile away. Maybe I'll hit something this time.
That helps. That helps.
Yeah, tell that to my dad.
Yep. That's right, 3D. Piglet to the rescue. We need her. Yep. Mom Slayer, what do you have coming up, honey?
I have a couple of videos in the queue. I'm filming that Hugel Culture Garden and making that trellis. And I put one out today. I had another super burn in my alcohol stove. And I need the answers to that because, although it's in control, it's a little dangerous.
Yeah.
So, but this is the time of year that my interests switch from the canning stuff. I'm outside. If I can be outside, that's where I'm at.
Yeah.
So we're gonna switch a little bit in the content.
Hey, that's a good thing. That is a good thing. That park that you were at was gorgeous. I watched your video on the alcohol stove, and I was looking past the table at all of the trees in the background. I was like, oh my goodness, that looks so nice.
That's my backyard. I live in that park.
Really?
Yeah, they surrounded us. It's either 480 acres or 840 acres. And my parents built here whenever it was a farm. And then when the caretakers died, they donated it to the county, and the county built this beautiful park. I have a pond above me and a lake diagonal from me, and that big lake is stocked, but it's not a big lake. I mean, you can kayak on it, but it's not real big. But yeah, a lot of woods.
Yeah, gorgeous.
I bet it is so
nice playground. Quiet. We are the community soccer field, like the school district. They play up here all the time, and baseball, little league. There's tennis courts. There used to be a equestrian center, but something happened and they got sued, so they took it out. That was literally right above the house.
Awesome.
So
wow,
yeah, it's a cool place to grow up.
Yeah, if y'all haven't checked out Mom Slayer, please check her out. That was a beautiful, beautiful background in that video. I know you were having problems with the stove, but I was like, man, look at that. It is gorgeous.
Those two red-headed woodpeckers were right there. They were behind us in the woods, and they were going from tree to tree. Now today, last night the turkeys were roosting above the house. They're flying into the trees to roost, and I was working on a video, and I heard this. It sounded like a turkey, but not quite like a turkey, and I wasn't really paying attention because I was working on that video, and it caught my attention, and I got up and I looked out the door, and it was that big red-headed woodpecker at the deck, and it took a section of the railing out like that, and it was only there for 5 or 10 minutes.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Dang.
So there must be grubs or something in the wood.
Yeah. Dang it.
And I wish I would have had my camera in my hand, because as soon as it saw me, it went. But it's beautiful. It really is.
Yeah. And they're pretty they're on the rarer side.
Yeah, that's what they said.
Yeah.
This one has been coming back year after year, and he just keeps getting bigger and bigger. I don't know which one is which. There's one about 2.5 feet, and the other one's about 3 feet. So I don't know which one it is now. He has a mate, and this is the first year that I've seen them together. So I don't know if this is a new thing or if they were there for 2 years, because I haven't been here for 2 years.
Yeah, that is awesome. Well, I hope that you are able to get video and we can check it out because that's a beautiful thing to me.
Sure. I will walk the dogs up there. I just don't film, so maybe I'll take the camera with me next time.
Yep, yep.
All right.
Awesome. All right, y'all. We are going to wrap up this chat, and we are so glad that y'all were able to join us. I look so forward to the Wednesday night Honey Badger chat. It helps me regroup and helps me center and connect. And hopefully, y'all have enjoyed it as well, ladies. I
Yes.
will.
Yes.
We will see you next week, and we hope that you all have a good rest of the week. And until next time, we will see you later. Good night, everybody.
Bye.
Good night.